So, hi, Shrey.
Hi, Shruti. Afternoon.
So, Shrey, first of all, congratulations on your admits.
Thank you.
And it's a very long journey to, getting to a one-year MBA program. So, please
Yeah.
share your work experience, your profile, and your results with us.
I have close to 9 years of experience in the construction industry. So I have a bachelor's degree in civil engineering and a master's in construction management. And I've worked in the US, in the UK, and in India in these 9 years in the real estate and both infrastructure industries. Post my master's, my specialization has been mostly in the cost and commercial management aspect of construction projects and programs. After having worked for close to 9 years in the industry, I thought of doing something else and aligning myself towards the management side of things because I felt I had actually reached a saturation point in my career. I had personal ambitions of moving back to India. So I thought 1 year MBA would be a perfect platform for me to pivot myself into the management domain, and that's when I started planning for the 1 year MBA course. So in terms of shortlisting the institutes, I had only the top 5 or 6 IIMs in my mind where I thought these courses would be better aligned with my experience, and they would actually better align with what I had in my mind for the future. So I wrote the GRE. Obviously, I couldn't apply to IIM Calcutta because they only take GMAT. So I applied to IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, I'm Indore, Lucknow, and Kozhikode. And I've managed to secure admits from IIM Lucknow, Indore, and Kozhikode. So I'll be eventually joining IIM Lucknow for this session.
A very important question that we face day to day, and understanding from your context, that's going to be very interesting as well as valuable. The
Yeah.
ROI of a program, the post MBA salary of any program in India cannot match the figures that you have as an international applicant, especially
Yeah.
in your case. So, what exactly do you feel is the ROI of this program?
I think one common mistake that people do is just measure ROI in terms of the starting salary which you will get out of the program. ROI should be measured over a period of time and what an MBA degree or MBA skill set holds in the long term future. So especially for me, it's important to know to align your expectations because obviously the salaries which you will earn overseas, you won't be able to match that in India, and obviously the expenses and all is much more over here. So I don't think it matters. The research gave me a brief idea on what kind of salaries I could expect after a course, which I was fine with because my current profile I won't be able to be at that levels. Any change in profile or any job that I would actually get after an MBA, it would be more than what I would have earned in my current role. So it's important to align your expectations to keep it very realistic, and then assess the impact of an MBA on your career over a long term period. For example, with my degree and skill set, I had actually made myself very limited to a particular job profile in the construction sector. With an MBA, obviously I'll have more avenues and more opportunities to work in other areas. Yeah.
The lateral shift that it opens you up for is probably a bigger benchmark for the ROI than just looking at the post MBA salary in that.
If you just look at post MBA salary or your starting salary, would be called a return on expenditure and not investment, because an investment is over a long term. So yeah,
Correct.
that's important to know.
What was it like going back to books after 9 years of work experience? How was the GRE prep, and any strategies that you would like to share with people who are coming back to books after a long
Yeah,
time?
it was a bit challenging because you've been away from studies for such a long period of time. One piece of advice that I would give to everyone is just to plan it well in advance. If you are applying for 2024 session, if you try to get done with GRE or GMAT by at least July, and start planning at least 4 to 5 months in advance. In my case, I initially started with the GMAT preparation, but 1 or 2 months down the line, I figured out that maybe the score that I'm aiming for GMAT, I think it will be easier if I actually opt for GRE, because GRE was something that I was comfortable with, because I had already appeared for GRE when I had done my MS. So I was more familiar with the format. In GRE, the vocabulary is the important part. You need to learn all those words, which is a challenge. So I used to do like 10 words a day, or 20 words a day. You can optimize your time. I think when you are traveling, you can do that. Even at work, when you have time, you can go through the words. English is a bit challenging with the vocabulary, and obviously with the reading comprehensions and all. It all comes with practice. Maths is comparatively easier. It's 10 standard maths, which all of us are comfortable with. You need to understand some tips and tricks in order to come with some shortcuts to optimize your time. It comes with practice. So I actually enrolled for an online course where I went through the video lectures of all the lessons. Practice is essential. Keep like 3 to 4 months, or at least 5 months. Give 3 to 4 to 5 months for your GRE and GMAT. More time is needed for GMAT, but for GRE, I think 3 to 4 months should be fine.
Correct. And what about the application process? How was it navigating the application process and putting up your story in the application? So, what were your strategies and things that worked for you?
Initially, it seems very daunting to know your story. The repository that you shared with me initially, that long essay, I think that helped a lot, because in that I could actually dump all of my experience, and then from that I could pick and choose in the MBA applications. It's essential to give it time to go back in your career history to look at things. I mean, the achievements which you think are important. At times, there would be some instances, or a few things which you may think that, okay, these are not that are relevant, but when you go back and revisit, and when you reassess the impact of those things, I think it makes for a good story. So just, yeah, be honest with yourself. Don't fake anything of whatever you have achieved in your career. Try to represent it in a way that, the representation of stories is very important. How you represent your story and your journey, that's extremely important. You may have a very good experience, but if you're not able to represent in a way that the adcom, if they're not able to interpret your story, I don't think it's of any use. So representation of the story uh, is important. The impact that your achievements had, and the most importantly, the learning which you've had from those experiences. I think that's important to put forward.
Right. And what about the interview preparation? What was the experience like, and what were the important parts of the preparation?
Interview, in all the interviews which I gave, I think a common theme was obviously why MBA and why at this stage. That's like the most crucial part. I think you should be honest with yourself in terms of why exactly you want to pursue this MBA. The answer which you need to give to the outcome, that has to be I mean, whether you want to change your domain or your functional role. A common question was, why do you want to move back to India? In case you want to do an MBA, why don't you do it from overseas? All these questions you should be able to answer in a convincing way. And at the end, you only know why you want to do an MBA. So if you're clear with that answer yourself, I think you should be able to answer it to the AdCom as well. Apart from that, they would expect you to know everything about your profile, about your job role, about your industry, about the current location where you are based out of in. For example, I was asked about questions pertaining to the construction and the real estate industry in India, which I mentioned in my essays that would be my preferred line of work post the completion of my MBA. So I was asked things about that. I was asked questions about my current profile. I think since it's cost associated, I was asked some few terminologies pertaining to the financial cost management as well. So you're expected to know that, and obviously where you are staying. I mean, they can ask things about your home state or about the country where you're working. For example, I was asked about UK politics, and I think it was I'm Indore. So those are like the common themes. Apart from that, I think online you would find many interview experiences. Some institutes have a pattern. For example, I'm Calcutta. They tend to ask many maths questions, which won't be associated with your profile, but still they tend to ask. A common theme was they actually asked what was your favorite subject in your undergrad. They can ask anything out of the blue, but you would find resources where you'll have a pattern, a few things which you should be prepared with. For example, you can be asked some guesstimate questions. You can be asked some maths questions. So I mean, they can ask anything, but yeah, the amount of time and preparation you put into the interview process is important. And in case if you don't know anything, just say I have no idea, because in case if you try to fake it, if you try to come up with an answer, they would actually catch you, and that might be a problem.
Correct. One thing that you mentioned was that people should start early with the GRE and the GMAT test prep. Are there any other insights or advice for future MBA applicants?
I think, as I said, planning well in advance is important. Try to be done with your GRE GMAT by July, so that you will have 2 to 3 months at least in order to work on your applications and your interviews, because that's very important. And the other thing I would say is that online there is a lot of information available. So don't look at all the information, because some of it may or might not be correct. Don't get deterred by low score or an average score. I mean, uh, you have a few resources available on the internet which will say that your score is below the average score for the institute, etc. But in my experience and whatever I've seen, I mean, scores do matter, but your overall profile does matter as well. So just try to get the best possible score you can, and then put a lot of effort on your applications and interviews. No, I think you've been pretty helpful during the process. Whenever I had any question, you were just one WhatsApp message or one WhatsApp call away. So that actually helped. And as I said, the initial questionnaire which was sent was very, very helpful, because it was my one source of truth for everything. So that was pretty helpful. And obviously, with the interview prep as well, in terms of all the videos which were available are there for me, in terms of what each and every institute they look for. I think that was pretty helpful.